Before we get into the Von Miller signing and why Dan Quinn isn't worried about his biggest weakness and the MVP buzz around Jayden Daniels, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Commanders HQ, your trusted source for all things burgundy and gold. Let's talk about why this signing could be a game changer, even if Von isn't playing every snap. The Washington Commanders have made a headline-grabbing move just days before training camp, signing future Hall of Fame pass rusher Von Miller. That's right. The 8-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl MVP is now wearing burgundy and gold. Now, let's be clear. Von Miller isn't the every-down force he once was. He's not TJ Watt, he's not Trey Hendrickson, and guess what? That's not the point. This move isn't about 17 games of domination. It's about one thing: impact when it matters most. Washington didn't bring Von in to play 80% of snaps. They signed him because they needed a designated pass rusher who can cause havoc on third downs and close games out in the fourth quarter, something the defense struggled with in 2024. Let's address the big narrative: Von's health. Over the past 3 seasons, Miller has only played 36 games. He hasn't logged more than 50% of defensive snaps in a regular season game since Week 11 of 2022. The concerns are real. He's battled injuries. He's been on pitch counts. His role has changed. But Dan Quinn, he's not concerned one bit. Why? Because this staff isn't asking Von to be a full-time edge. They know exactly what he is: a rotational weapon who steps up in the biggest moments. And here's the stat that matters most. In 2024 with Buffalo, Miller played just 209 pass rushing snaps, but still delivered 6 sacks and 32 total pressures, with a 16.1% pressure rate. That ranked top 10 in the NFL among players with at least 175 pass rush attempts. So no, Dan Quinn doesn't need Von on first down. He needs him on 3rd and 7 with the game on the line. Let's talk about the decision itself. GM Adam Peters had options. He could have spent more money and gone after Za'Darius Smith, or made a flashy trade for Trey Hendrickson. But both of those moves would have cost the Commanders cap flexibility or valuable draft capital. And with major decisions ahead, like potential extensions for Terry McLaurin, Laremy Tunsil, Deebo Samuel, and Marshawn Lattimore, tying up money in a big-name edge just didn't make sense. Miller, he's a perfect short-term solution. He fills the void left by Dante Fowler Jr.'s 10.5 sacks last year and gives the Commanders an elite pressure threat without mortgaging the future. Even better, he's a locker room leader. He brings championship experience and can mentor young guys like KJ Henry and Andre Jones Jr. while delivering when it matters most. Let's not forget, Dan Quinn has a long track record of getting the most out of aging pass rushers. He did it with Dwight Freeney in Atlanta. He helped revive Robert Quinn in Dallas. Now, with Joe Whitt Jr. by his side, Quinn has the perfect role carved out for Von. Expect a strict snap count. Expect strategic use. Expect Miller to come alive in the biggest moments, especially in the fourth quarter where Washington desperately needs more production. This isn't about building the best September defense. This is about having closers in December and January. While the defense just got a legendary addition, let's not lose sight of the buzz building around Jayden Daniels. NFL.com's Eric Edholm just named Daniels the Commanders' most likely MVP candidate, and honestly, it checks out. Daniels had one of the most electric rookie seasons in recent memory. He dragged Washington to the NFC Championship game, winning 2 road playoff games, and put up numbers that rival the best rookie QBs of the past 15 years. We're talking Cam Newton, RG3, Dak Prescott, even Russell Wilson. Now how? He's got more weapons, better protection, and another full offseason under offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. With Deebo Samuel, Ben Sinnott, Luke McCaffrey, and Laremy Tunsil anchoring the line, Daniels is in position to post massive stats. But here's the thing though. MVP hype is fun, but expectations are real. Commanders fans aren't just looking for shootouts. They want wins, and they want them without needing a miracle drive in the final minute. The Commanders averaged over 28 points per game last season. If the defense holds its own, especially with late-game help from guys like Von Miller, Daniels won't have to play Superman every week. But if he does, and the wins keep coming, Daniels could absolutely follow the path of Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Kurt Warner, who all won NFL MVP in year 2. And let's be honest, who else would you rather bet on? Let's start with the truth that every Commanders fan knows in their bones. Terry McLaurin has carried this franchise through the darkest years. Since arriving in 2019 as a third-round pick, McLaurin has been nothing short of elite, despite playing with a rolling door of journeyman quarterbacks, enduring toxic ownership, coaching turnover, and national-level dysfunction. And through it all, no complaining, no excuses, just consistent, high-level football. You could basically pencil him in for 1,000 yards every season, no matter who was under center. The man was a bright spot when this franchise desperately needed one. But somehow, he's still seen as underrated. Fast forward to 2024. New regime, new quarterback, new offense. Jayden Daniels takes over. Cliff Kingsbury redesigns the scheme. And McLaurin, he explodes. His total yards may have dipped slightly due to fewer targets and a more balanced attack, but McLaurin doubled his career high with 13 touchdowns, matched his best first down total, and finished with a target success rate among the NFL elite. He finally got the league's attention. Pro Bowl, second-team All-Pro. That's what happens when you start making big plays in big moments. Playoff runs, nationally televised games, game-winning drives. But now, that recognition seems to be evaporating again. Jeremy Fowler just released ESPN's positional rankings for wide receivers, based on polling from coaches, scouts, executives, and analysts across the league. McLaurin didn't make the top 10. Not only was he snubbed, he was placed just outside the top tier, topping the honorable mentions list. And here's where Commanders fans should be furious. Some of the names ranked ahead of him simply don't make sense. Two standouts, Malik Nabers, number 7, and Garrett Wilson, number 10. Let's break this down. Garrett Wilson in 2024, 7 touchdowns, 10.9 yards per catch. Terry McLaurin in 2024, 13 touchdowns, 13.4 yards per catch. Wilson had more receptions, but that's it. On every other efficiency and scoring metric, McLaurin was clearly superior. Malik Nabers? Sure, he's an electric rookie. But let's not forget, he had fewer explosive plays, lower yards per catch, and fewer touchdowns than McLaurin too. The wildest part? The main argument for Nabers' high ranking is that he succeeded despite poor quarterback play on a weak offense. Sound familiar? That was Terry McLaurin's entire reality from 2019 to 2023, and no one ever gave him the benefit of the doubt. Now that he's thriving with a real QB and real coaching, he's still being treated like he's on the outside looking in? Come on. Here's why this matters more than usual. Terry McLaurin is in the middle of a contract standoff. It's the most pressing story in Ashburn right now. McLaurin wants and deserves a top-tier extension. But every time a ranking like this comes out, the leverage shifts. Whether they'll say it out loud or not, lists like this give general manager Adam Peters more ammo. They reinforce the idea that maybe McLaurin isn't elite. Maybe he shouldn't get paid like a top 5 or top 10 wide receiver heading into age 30. And that's dangerous, because if other wide receivers like Garrett Wilson and Malik Nabers, both younger, yes, are being talked about as better right now, then McLaurin has to fight even harder to prove he still belongs in that elite money tier. Let's be clear, he absolutely does. Terry McLaurin is not declining. In fact, he's playing the best, most efficient football of his career. With Jayden Daniels at QB and Cliff Kingsbury calling plays, McLaurin has finally been placed in a functional offense. And what happens? He scores 13 times and dominates late in games, just like he always could. He's not just a leader. He's not just a good soldier. He's an elite wide receiver, still in his prime, who finally got the support he deserved and proved what we all knew. The fact that he's still being disrespected, even now, is beyond frustrating. At the end of the day, this is about more than rankings. This is about a player who has represented the franchise with class, carried it through chaos, and elevated his game when it mattered most. If you're telling me Malik Nabers and Garrett Wilson, as talented as they are already better than Terry McLaurin, then the league has a serious short-term memory problem. Because right now, heading into 2025, Terry McLaurin is still one of the best receivers in the NFL. And it's time everyone, especially those doing the rankings, starts acting like it. Bottom line, Dan Quinn gets his situational pass rusher, Adam Peters protects the team's future, Jayden Daniels is entering his second year with high scab potential, and the Commanders look like one of the most complete and exciting teams in the NFC. Von Miller might not be on the field every down, but when he is, he'll matter. Jayden Daniels might not win MVP, but if he gets hot, he'll be in the conversation. This is a team that's building smart, playing tough, and aiming for more than just another playoff run. What do you think about Von Miller joining the team? Is he still capable of delivering in crunch time? And is Jayden Daniels your dark horse MVP pick for 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Commanders HQ, and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat from Ashburn to Arizona. Until next time, hail to the Commanders.